Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's stream. We're playing retro games today. Square Enix has released a collection of the old Final Fantasy Legend titles, which were SaGa titles, but they were called Final Fantasy Legend in the original releases back on the Game Boy. And yes, a pack of 3 of those has just released on Nintendo Switch as of this week. A good cheap download by Square Enix standards. It's about $30 or something to put to play through all 3 of these games again. They are exact replicas of the Game Boy version, so they're in black and white and all that stuff, which would be great for the nostalgic. It's obviously not a game that's going to appeal to the more modern players, I guess, but I had great fond memories of these 3 games as a kid, and I've been really looking forward to playing through them on my Switch. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Hello Dithy, welcome to the stream. I would imagine, not that I actually know how old you are, but I would imagine that these games are a bit before your time. I can't remember exactly when they were released. Late 80s, I think. Late 80s, maybe early 90s at best. Hello Sean, welcome to the welcome to the stream. I'm glad to have you on board. I know you've been playing this as well, which is cool. It's very cool indeed. There you go. Modern player. Alright, so I'm not sure which one I should play actually. So this is the little title screen that you have when you first boot the game up. You can choose between Final Fantasy Legend 1, 2 and 3. Once again, they're actually part of the SaGa series, but they were called Final Fantasy Legend in the West because there was a bit more of a there was a bit more brand recognition for Final Fantasy than the SaGa. There you go, Final Fantasy Legend from 1989, the first ever handheld RPG. That's how old these games are. But I'm not going to play the original one, mostly because it's been that long since I last played it. I'd get lost and that wouldn't be much fun. You'd just be watching me wander around fighting random encounters. What I'm going to do is play the second one, I think, which was my favourite anyway. I really enjoyed Final Fantasy Legend 2, and yeah, it's a good one. So we'll play that. Let's play that. Let's load it up. So, straight into it, nice and smooth transition. As you can see, it maintains the aspect ratio of the Game Boy because otherwise it would look all ugly and stretched. They put these backgrounds in. You can't actually get rid of the backgrounds, unfortunately, but it is what it is. There's a couple of different backgrounds you can choose between. I've chosen this black and white one of a dude with a fist. I think he's holding a shield. And anyway, that's the title screen. So we'll just jump into it. 1991, this one was released. So they did push them out nice and quickly. There are indeed video games, Dithy. There are indeed. Wow, okay, so fun fact, thanks to Sean. Final Fantasy Legend 1 was actually Square's first million seller. There you go, the original Game Boy Final Fantasy experience was the first million seller for the company. Replace the background with a Hatsune Miku screenshot, believe me, I really wish I could. That would be awesome. Okay, so jump into start. Get a little bit of a story. These games don't have the most in-depth stories because they were very primitive JRPGs, but the symbol of true power, the legacy of the ancient gods who made the world. Many fought for the mighty power, some won, some failed. Now, another legend of bravery is about to begin. Not too many words, but it certainly set the scene. It sold 1 million DLC, it did indeed. And then we get taken to this little thing where we can actually create the character that we want to control, our main character, the hero of the story. So there's 8 different choices here. There's humans, there's mutants, there's a robot, a slime, a baby D, which stands for dragon obviously, and imp. I'm going to go with a human, because I'm boring like that. And let's go with Miku. She's a legend, so there you go. Makes sense. So cutscene straight away. I've got no control over the text speed, so it is what it is. Yeah, humans definitely the easy mode. They have advantages to as the hero that makes it easier to get them through the quest. It's been ages since I played this, so I'm going to be a bit raw, but whatever. So, father's off on some kind of mission, journey, adventure. He's given a gemstone called Prism to daughter Miku, and now he's about to leave. Good father he is. Out the window, no less. Did he just walk out the window? Yes, he did walk out the window. Don't worry, the game actually makes fun of that. So, as you can see, very short little cutscene. Then immediately jump forward years later. Now Miku is all grown up and ready to go and do her own thing. He went out to buy cigarettes and never came back. Yes, he certainly did. It's that old story, the fantasy version of. And now Miku's off to chase after Daddy. See what he got up to. I'm sure there's plenty of Rule 34 for the characters in this series. Can't you see how hot the sprites are? It's long hair and everything. And very understanding mothers just like, yeah, off you go. Head off. Do your thing. I'll be right here. No passive aggressiveness in that and whatsoever. She's cool. It could be like a family tradition where everybody exits out windows. Yeah. Don't even talk. I'm not talking about Cyberpunk. I refuse to. I'm just. You can wait for my review at the end of the week if I somehow get there. I'm getting there. I'm about 45 hours into it now. I'm pushing through. This release is not going to help me get there. I'm going to be distracted by classic Final Fantasy Legends now. But and then you're off to meet your teacher, who is for some reason an octopus. I always thought of it as an octopus. It's not actually an octopus, but it's like this big alien head one eye creature with arms trailing behind his back. So that's why I thought he was an octopus. But I was very young when I first played this. My mind filled in blanks in a way. Anyway, Teacher Octopus, Mr. S, is telling you about how you have to go around and collect all this magi, I don't know, however you want to pronounce it, M-A-G-I, I call it magi, like the noodles in Australia, and you got to go and collect all these 77 pieces of magi to make a statue of a goddess and save the world or something. You've got one piece, so 76 to go, thanks to your father giving you that Prism one at the start. So 76 left to collect around the world, and you're about to go off on a quest to do that. That's basically the whole point of Final Fantasy Legend 2. They had very simple stories, because they were very primitive games, like I said. But it was enough. I remember playing these a lot on the car trips, on train trips. Basically, I took this game or this series with me everywhere I went and played an awful lot. The only cyberpunk you need is Balloon Kid. Balloon Kid's pretty cyberpunk. There you go. So you've got to collect 76 bits of treasure. Thanks to Sean for that bit of trivia there. They could have said Crystal. Oh no, wait, Crystal would have been too many characters because Game Boy had very limited characters. As you can see, pretty much everything needs to be named in 4 characters or less. So MAGI, I guess, works as Crystal. So still going through the narrative here, Mr. S is now telling you about how the Magi that you have, the first one is called Prism. It tells you how much Magi is left to collect in the area that you're exploring at that point in time. Pretty handy, that one. It's like a treasure finding stone. So that's what you've got. I can assure you this game does not have a cutscene that goes for 40 minutes like a Kojima game. We're almost at the end of the cutscene here. I get to add a couple of other people to my party, so I get to start with a full group, and I'm ready to adventure then. Treasure finding is the real treasure, the friends you make along the way. Well, yeah, we're about to go on this big quest and all our school buddies are going to join us. And you can take an arbitrary 3, not 4, not 2, 3 with you. So let's go with a baby D. Let's call the baby D. Well, let's be lame with the names. Let's call baby D Drac. You know, because Dragon, Drake, Drac. What else shall we go with? Let's go with a mutant male. We'll call the mutant male Bob. Very fantasy name, that Bob. And finally, we will go with a robot, because the robot's pretty cool. AI-powered robot, no less. We'll call him Bizzed. Pretty creative names, if I do say so myself. Alright. Your aim in these streams is to make me laugh, so people watching after will be confused by my spontaneity as giggling. Yes, whenever I laugh, it's because one of these people that watch me say something that makes me giggle. I often forget that people might watch this on playback afterwards. Anyway, we now have our team of 4. And if I can figure out how to pull them up. There we go. So there is our team of 4. Miku, Drac, Bob, and Bizzed. And as you can see, they all have, well, the equipment that you carry into battle has a number next to it. That number is how many times you can use it before it breaks. It has that Fire Emblem system where each weapon has a certain life with the uses of it. So that's Drac. Bob has a couple of different tricks up his sleeve, and then Bizzed has a pistol because, you know, tech. He has tech tools. That's basically all there is. And then I've got this. So if I equip Prism, that'll, like we were told, that will tell us how much treasure is around in this area that we're in to track down. So now we can go and talk to the people. We're in this little town. Miku's twin, another Miku, exactly the same sprite. See, twins. Same hairdo and everything. There's a slime there. Let's chat with the slime. Something's going on outside. Cool. Thanks for the info. Going for a look for your father. Take care. Cool. That was nice of you. And there is a cave up north. That's where we're going to go. So that's basically the little town that we've got to go around and explore. One thing I really do like about these Final Fantasy Legend games is they're actually, for Game Boy games, you have to remember that these were from the early 90s, very early 90s, and on a console that was about as underpowered as any console has ever been. The art direction in them is quite nice. In fact, funny little story, I guess. I often play around with the RPG Maker software to make my own little RPGs. I don't share them with anyone, it's just a bit of fun that I do. But whenever I make an RPG Maker game, I actually convert all the sprites to black and white because I played so much of these Final Fantasy Legend games that I quite like the aesthetic of the black and white little sprites bouncing around. So, yeah. Okay, so now Mr. S, the octopus, is going to join us. Just because it's going to help us out. And now this is the overworld. This is the main map. And straight into a fight. Now these games are, being the primitive games that they are, they've got an awful random encounter rate. You'll be running into enemies constantly. And it's all nice, simple, classical turn-based stuff. Okay, that's the one, I guess, unique mechanic for this series. After battle, sometimes, not always, but sometimes enemies drop meat. Now you can choose to eat that meat, and it has different effects depending on which character ate it. So if a mutant eats it, they actually might turn into a different character entirely, a different kind of monster. And there's a whole bunch of other effects for different people. I can't remember what they all do, but if I was to eat it, let's give it to the human, Miku. Nothing happens because normal human, but if I was to give that to the mutant, he might turn into something. I can't remember if there's any order, rhyme or reason to what they turn into. Sometimes they turn into characters that are absolutely useless and that's always a bit of a crapshoot when you use a mutant in Final Fantasy Legends. Sometimes they turn into something incredibly powerful, of course, and that's great, but then you'll feed them something and they'll turn into something weak afterwards and you'll get frustrated. Oh, okay. I could have sworn, I mean, it's been a long time since I played them, but I thought that all through them, if you gave the mutants food, they turned into different monsters. But there you go. In Final Fantasy Legend 3 they do. But in Final Fantasy Legend 2, it's only the monsters that change after you. So if I gave Drake, the dragon monster, meat, he might turn into something else, which might not work for me. Alright, so now we've got 3 different enemies to fight. Pretty cool looking skeleton, a jaguar and a spider. Okay, so just to read out what Sean wrote there in the comments, human stats are based on gear, so as I give Miku better equipment, she'll get more powerful. Mutants change randomly. Monsters, which is Drak here, he changes through the consumption of meat. And robots change by giving them parts, which we'll get to eventually. And Mr. S finished him off for me. Okay. Spider meat. Let's do that. Let's give that to Drac. Let's see what happens. He's turned to a beetle. The baby dragon is now a beetle. Very typical Final Fantasy dungeon styles here. Oh, there's treasure chests there. I need to go back and get those. Don't want to miss out on the treasures. So Beetle has one attack, a horn attack. Okay. At the moment, Mr. S, being your teacher, he helps you get through this dungeon quite comfortably because he's very powerful. He doesn't stay in the party for long. So we just got a shield. Let's give the shield to Miku. Okay, fight again. Some more meat. Let's do it again. Let's just see where we go with this. Okay, so now... Oh, another dragon. Another bunch of tigers to fight. So now Drake is a cute little lizard thing. That's a cute little sprite, that is. Which is the best Switch RPG released today? This or Football Manager 2021 Touch? Yeah, I saw that on the Switch store, Football Manager 2021, and I was like, oh my god, there goes an awful lot of my time. They do it every year around Christmas. They release those things, and I just get absolutely hooked on them. Ridiculously addicted to them, spend 150, 200 hours on them, and then just stop playing once I get busy again. But I don't know, I'm looking forward to getting stuck into Football Manager 2021. I haven't played it yet. I downloaded it, of course. I do need to get through Cyberpunk before I get into games that I can actually play to enjoy. Cyberpunk not being a game that I want to play to enjoy, that is for sure. The stupid thing about Football Manager Touch is they don't actually change between one game to the next by much at all. People like to make fun of EA games or whatever for the FIFA games for not changing one to the next. Really, the only thing you get in a Football Manager Touch update is the roster updated. But in that particular case, that's exactly what you want, because you want the up-to-date rosters, because it's all about the roster, those games. Okay, so Miku's pretty injured. Let's cure Miku. There we go. Nothing a potion can't fix. Final Fantasy. Yes, Final Fantasy. Some new animations. Ooh. Because Football Manager Touch was always such an attractive game. It was all about the animation and the art. Oh! Muscle Man. That's right, Muscle Man. Oh, Miku's hit points increased again. This is getting good and tough. See, like I said, the encounter rate in these games is always crazy, because Without that a high encounter rate, these games wouldn't last too long. I have no idea, did he? I would... I watch Love Life plenty, but I don't remember that line. Not usually paying attention to the narrative in Love Life. Alright, give us some meat. Nope. Yep, we're still all great. All healthy. We're getting through this cave. Making our way up. Let's go over here. There's some treasure chests. Replacement hammer. And a bow. Excellent. Equipment. Loot. There's a crazy lizard and a goblin there. Alright. 3 lizards. Let's just deal with 1 goblin with these characters. And Mr. S can deal with lizards for us. Miku's MP increased again. She's getting good and healthy. Let's use Mr. S's cure. Save my potions. There we go. So that would be the first boss there. The tutorial bosses, as such. Another cute little sprite. Give me that magi. No, thank you. It's a dragon. Let's deal with it. Q's getting, yeah, she's getting beefed up. She's getting ripped. And with 1 attack, you defeat the baby worm. But after this, we jump out of here, and then off goes Mr. S. Goodbye. Now we're on our own. He's fighting the baby worm child abuse, in a way. And then, conveniently located just north of the cave, is the first little town that we have to visit. And she thinks she's already found her dad. Shrine of Isis is to the west. There is a cute cleric named Ki in the shrine. Okay, cute being important, of course. Monsters are attacking. There's an inn there. There's a cafe there. There we go. Interesting conversation there. Let's jump into the cafe. There's more people to talk here. There's a plant. Pillar of Sky is over the northern mountains. We're getting a map here. Pillar of Sky is holding the celestial world. The name of the dad father, that's exactly right. Oh, 1 gold piece for a tune. We can pick any song we like. Let's go with... oh, that's a pretty cool name. Deep in the Dark. Listening to some pretty neat tunes. Refreshments. Have a good time. That's what you do when you're having a refreshment. You have a good time. That's the cafe. drop into the inn. We can heal when we do that. 50 gold pieces to stay, so we'll do that. Have a rest. Wander over here. There's some equipment to buy, of course. You can buy a punch. That's a pretty neat item. You can buy a punch. I'm assuming that's like a glove or something. You know, boxing. I do like whips, so I'll buy a whip. And I will buy a long sword. There we go, that's all I can afford right now. And buy a whip fits Miku. That's what I like to think as well. That's my headcanon for Miku, that's for sure. That's all the armor you can buy and stuff. And I'll buy a cure. And I'll buy a bronze hat. That'll be enough for now. I think... I can't even remember who I can equip this stuff. I guess I can give him a bronze hat. He's got a bronze hat. And I can give Miku a long sword or a whip. I'll give Miku the whip. I'll give Bob the long sword. And I'm not sure if Bizzed can have a bow. Oh, Bizzed can have a bow. That works. Alright. Now we're all equipped. We're ready to go on our way to the next bit. So we were told over in the west there's something that we need to visit. Some shrine or something. So that's the way we're going. There we go. There's a shrine. Oh, he can't use the longsword. That's right. Pistol. Miku's getting a bit pummeled there. Let's use the whip. Whip that gang into shape. One to go. It's a bit harder when Mr. S leaves your crew. Oh, I missed. The gun's the big one that I've got at the moment. Does a lot of damage. I got a punch. Yay. Got a free punch. Let's give the punch to Bob. Since he can't use the longsword, I'm pretty sure he can use the punch. And we'll give the longsword to Miku, I guess. I need to go and heal. I can't remember if any of my characters get uses of their equipment back in between battles or by resting or whatever. So I'm just testing something here. Spider meat. Alright. Eat it, lizard. Oh, lizard turned to spider. Eat some spider meat, turn into a spider. That's a pretty cool sprite for the spider, as you can see. Little dancing jig he's doing. Just drop back into town. So obviously, because this is an older game, there is a bit of a grind that happens too. Yep. And I'll go and rest in the inn. Alright, let's have a look. So his equipment actually returns after I rest. Bob's does not, I don't think. No, hammers don't come back. Drake comes back. His equipment and... no, of course hers don't. So Bizzed gets his gunshots back after he rests. The other characters do lose their equipment over time. Anyway, back to questing. We'll go into that shrine this time, unless I get pummeled by too many enemies. Ah, this group. Longsword on the spider, tusk on the spider, hammer on the spider, pistol on the jaguar. I shouldn't have done that. So another another quirk of the game being so old, if you've gone and told your entire party to attack an enemy and the first character on your side to attack that enemy kills the enemy, the rest of the characters don't do anything. So in more modern JRPGs, if one of the enemies gets killed and isn't there on the screen anymore, all the other characters that were set to attack that enemy change their attacks to a different one automatically. But with this one, because it's an old game, you need to actually measure out how many hit points the enemy has so that you don't end up standing around, or your characters don't end up standing around doing nothing for a turn. I did forget that happened. Alright, skeleton dealt with. Jaguar's meat. What's he going to turn into? A lizard! Back to the lizard. He was a lizard, turned into a spider, turned back into a lizard. There we go. Wander into the shrine. Who the heck is Ashura? Bad dude. As long as Ki is in here, Ashura won't come in. So, Ki being the cute priest, cleric. I came here to have Ki heal me, yep. Haven't we all? There's Ki. So the description of Miku's father is the man with a hat on. That's exactly all you need to do in this world to identify him. You just go from town to town saying, "Have you seen a dude with a hat on?" Then he's obviously the father of Miku. Four to the east and 3 to the south from the big rock in the southern forest. So that was directions of where we need to go. The benefits of having your own unique sprite in an 8-bit world. Yes, the one sprite, the only person that's sun careful in this whole world is Miku's father. Everybody else is going to get very bad skin burns and melanomas and things. Oh, SaGa. That's a pretty cool sprite. Look at that. He's got a sword and everything. Oh, he's pretty tough too. Took a bullet and still stood. Pity he didn't drop some meat. Oh, another combat account. Okay. Actually, I need to save my rapier. It's a better weapon. Use the longsword. Tusk. Punch. Gonna punch the gang. Bow. Oh, Miku's strength up. Excellent. She leveled up. So we need to go down here now. Another punch. Excellent. Bob's got unlimited punches now. I like how you can actually run out of punch. So that there is the rock. And I can't remember what the instructions were. Hey Sean, since you're on the stream, what were the instructions on... It was like something to the east? 4 to the east? 5 to the east? 3 to the east? And then something to the south? It was like a Meiji. There we go, found it. By pure luck. So this is another dungeon that I'm going to have to go through. Those are pretty tough enemies. I'll probably have to retreat now. Ooh, frog attacked Miku with tongue. That's alright. I just wasn't paying attention, so my bad for not remembering. Oh dear. Ooh, that's a tough group. Let's try and run. I did. I escaped. And immediately one more step, another enemy. Let's try and run. Yep. I need to go back and heal up, you see. Maybe spend some cash on equipment. So that's where I need to go next. There's Meiji in there. Magi. Oh, that's a tough group. I'll take them on. Longsword the Goblin. Punch the Goblin there. And pistol the heck out of the Ashigaru. Oops. Hey, Bob got a hit point bonus. Good on you, Bob. So right now, I need to heal up because Miku is pretty close to not being alive anymore. I better heal up Drake as well. Alright. So we'll go back, we'll get supplies ready to take on that dungeon. You'll need lots of healing items and stuff, because once you're in, it's very difficult to get back out until you've dealt with whatever's in there. No escape ropes in this game. And just like that, I should have all of Bizt's attacks back. Excellent. Bob's equipment's all there. I'm just going to reorganize things, because if I do that, it becomes easier to manage in battle. You want to put the attacks at the top and the equipment underneath. There we go, that's nice and neat now. I better do the same with Miku actually. Just get myself organised. Back in these days, games were not so accessible in terms of the interfaces. Shield, armor, there we go. And save. Just like that. Right, so that is basically how Final Fantasy Legend works. I haven't got too much else to show other than the next dungeon, which would take an age to power through. Thanks for joining in, Sean. That was really cool. Thanks for chatting and the trivia you shared. I'll be finishing up this stream soon anyway, since the next thing I need to do is a pretty long trip down into the dungeon. So anyway, thanks very much, Sean and Diddy, for jumping in and chatting as well. Great to have you on as always. That is Final Fantasy Legend. I will have a review up on digitallydownloaded.net at some point. I've got to get through Cyberpunk first, but once I have, I'll be putting plenty of energy into this one. I really do enjoy these games, and I'm happy that they're now on Switch. Nice, easy download, not too many megabytes. If you want to go and grab it yourself right now, $30 in Australian on the Switch e-store for 3 classic Game Boy games. Thanks as always for joining in, and we will see you at the next stream.